Welcome to the Tibet Center here at 502 North Ridgewood Road in South Orange, New Jersey. We'll begin by reciting the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddha's teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there together with their near ones who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dhamma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once. The Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the Dharmas, called profound illumination. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, "How should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge?" And Avalokiteshvara answered, "Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form, emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no
objects of mind, no quality of sight,
no
quality of hearing,
no quality of
smelling,
no quality of
tasting,
no quality of
sensing,
no quality of
thought,
no quality of
mind consciousness. There are no dharmas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, no path,
no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear, they transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed true complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that Samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, "Good, good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice." When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Now generate bodhicitta. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So, let us recite Om Mani Padme Hum, one rosary. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So, when we read our prayers, we read the Heart Sutra, where we contemplate the fact that there is no inherent, independent quality of existence in us and in any phenomenon. And then we contemplate how we go through all the phenomena, all the parts that make us up, and all the parts of throughout existence, all the different objects, and recognize that though in the prayer it says no eye, no ear, no nose, no whatever, you're understanding not that these don't exist, but that they don't exist inherently. But from the point of view of the meditator who is actually experiencing that, he would actually experience no I when you are focusing on you're looking for the I, the objectively existent I. When you experience it, when a meditator experiences it, he experiences a lack of whatever the phenomenon is. It's not that there's a lack of the basis for naming, it's that there is a lack of the phenomenon that we are identifying. So if it's a table, you actually experience the lack of table. The meditator actually doesn't see a table because he's looking for that tableness which doesn't exist. So for the practitioner, the first step is to go through that process. However, to do so with compassion, with a wish to attain enlightenment, and so therefore, though the aim is to attain full enlightenment, the first step for the sharp faculty practitioner is to realize that emptiness of inherent existence of self and of all phenomena. Then, with that as the basis, the sharp faculty bodhisattva works at actually assuming responsibility for all sentient beings, works at developing that, not just the determination to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings, but the actual involvement in the process, engagement in developing the different qualities of a bodhisattva, the practices of a bodhisattva, the perfections that bring about the actual determination to attain enlightenment and bring about ultimately enlightenment. So when we read these prayers, instead of them just being recited by rote, if we really think about this generating bodhicitta second paragraph, or second verse, inspired by wisdom, wisdom is the wisdom realizing emptiness, and compassion, the wish to remove the suffering of others. So with that inspiration, and I think that it has also been translated as infused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening. So that this is where you are vowing, this is where you take the vow to attain full enlightenment, full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. So this verse, the recitation of this verse, is really, really important, as is the recitation of the Heart Sutra that precedes it. And then once we've generated bodhicitta, it's not enough to simply make this determination that I will work. We have to also devote ourselves to this attainment and vow that we will devote the rest of history, the rest of time to this, as long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain. Until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So, if there are no longer any sentient beings, we don't have, our work is done. We don't have to. But as long as there are sentient beings, the bodhisattva works to be able to benefit them, to be able to help them, to be able to lead them to a state of freedom from suffering. So these verses are really important. The first verse, with the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge. Now, here, the whole idea of refuge, what makes one a Buddhist as opposed to not being a Buddhist, is not where you were born in the world. It's not the culture within which you were born. It's that you take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. You take refuge in the enlightened being, the teacher, the Dharma, the doctrine that he taught, the method by which you can progress along the spiritual path. You can also think of the Dharma not as the texts or the doctrine itself, but to our eventual attainment of the doctrine. So the real, it's interesting and important to consider what this taking refuge means, because you take refuge not in terms of refuge is not sort of like going to some place where you're protected. Refuge is a state, wherever you happen to be, where you recognize your suffering, you recognize the suffering that exists in the world and within existence, and you recognize that the Buddha, this enlightened being, the Dharma, the doctrine that he taught, and the spiritual community that is engaged in practicing that Dharma at a very high level, you recognize that they provide not just protection from the suffering that you are experiencing, but they provide the method by which you can bring protection to others. You can bring salvation from suffering to others. So really considering this idea of refuge and the objects of refuge, just what the Buddha is, just what the Dharma is, just what the Sangha is, how they provide that protection, how they provide that refuge. Those contemplations bring about that sense of seeking refuge or taking refuge, as they say. People often talk about, I took refuge with so-and-so, or I took refuge with this. I think that the taking of refuge doesn't necessitate going to see someone holy to do this. Taking refuge is something that we do all by ourselves. As we read and develop greater recognition of the value of what we're reading, and see it as see the text as really conveying a way by which we can extricate ourselves from this state of suffering. That recognition would lead us to a certain seeking of the protection that it provides, and thinking about whoever it is who wrote this, the teacher. We would have faith in that person. And of course, we would have a certain respect for the community engaged in putting that to practice. So really thinking of it in more practical terms is I think, very helpful. Now, we get together to discuss secular ethics. I do think that we can talk Buddhism from time to time. I think that it's really important, and having really sharpening with the most basic thing as taking refuge, which is what, as I say, establishes one as a Buddhist. Just considering these three objects of refuge, considering them as deeply as we can, will deepen our sense of taking refuge. And in the process of taking refuge in this way, of seeking the protection of the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, that that seeking itself, that taking refuge itself, is a step along the way, is practice, is if we are seeking refuge in the Dharma, which is the essential refuge, it is the practice that we engage in to bring about the changes that we wish to bring. The more we take refuge in the Dharma, we do so as a result of developing our understanding of it. The deeper our understanding of the Dharma, the deeper our refuge, the taking of refuge is. The real refuge is the taking on, assuming these objects of refuge. So I just, going through these 3 verses that we recite, sometimes sort of automatically, I think giving them thought, considering them, really thinking about them deeply is important. So the task that we were given is to discuss His Holiness's writings on secular ethics. And you'll have to
Aaron. Babe, I get it. That's Ooh, who's that? I have somebody else's phone. Put it on the chair. What I see?
so
Page 50.
we've been asked to really explore the Dharma of the 3 jewels, or the 3 jewels of refuge, the Dharma, as presented by His Holiness in a way that is free of any kind of, what would you call it, doctrinal dogma.
Dogma, because there's one book called Beyond Dogma. It has the same theme. So dogma is dogma.
You've come here tonight beyond dogma. You left the dog behind.
I did. I did.
Okay.
What
So-
page so far, it's a 58 where it's so far as the condition. That's the mark I made. What about you? The way for here. Yeah, this way.
So, but to go back a little bit to page 55, so what we're discussing now is the whole, what happiness is and how to bring happiness about. And happiness, we've been considering, and we've been talking about to what degree happiness is something that comes about as a result of our achieving what we wish for, possessing what we wish for, and as opposed to other ways. And here, according to my experience, the principal characteristic of genuine happiness is peace, inner peace. And he says, the peace I'm describing is rooted in concern for others and involves a high degree of sensitivity and feeling. I attribute my sense of peace to the effort to develop concern for others. Now, I just thought it would be, you found it on page 55 towards the top.
Paragraph.
Page 55 on the top. And this last sentence I read, I attribute my sense of peace to the effort to develop concern for others. And it's not, I attribute my sense of peace to the development of concern for others, but to that effort. What do you think is meant by that?
Could have said, just develop concern, but the effort is a teaching word. It does take effort, and the effort alone gives you a sort of result.
So what Tony's just said, the whole idea that effort alone, the whole point, it's the effort to develop that in itself leads you. This fact that the inner peace is the principal characteristic of happiness explains the paradox that while we can all think of people who remain dissatisfied despite having every material advantage, there are others who remain happy notwithstanding the most difficult circumstances. Okay, but here it's the effort. I love other sort of feelings about this idea that it's not the actual development of concern for others, it's the working at it.
You can't develop it without working at it, right?
Yeah. But he's saying it's not just that you can't develop without working at it, it's that
the inner peace is actually equivocal to the effort, not the
Yeah.
development.
I attribute my sense of peace to the effort. So his sense of peace comes from, and I feel that's an important thing to
It
consider.
also indicates that we're in charge. You have to do something, and that just brings it about. It's not reading, memorizing, then it happens. There's some internal working to do. We used to call it mental gymnastics, something like that. You see, it's something.
I guess the way I understand that sentence is that the application of a genuine application of effort in this direction would already bring some measure of the result together with it. I mean, of course, not the complete result.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the effort is the complete happiness. Maybe the effort alone brings complete happiness.
Well, yes, I think he's saying that.
Complete?
Yeah, you can leave the word complete off. Is that okay?
Okay.
She gives you the word complete. Okay.
I don't want
Okay.
It reminds me a little bit of like, in terms of like the artistic process or writing, I feel like whenever I have something that I've completed and then I walk away from it for a while, I have this a little sense of satisfaction and happiness. Oh, I completed something. I kind of feel a little bit like that, a little full of myself, but it doesn't really last for very long. But when I write every day and I kind of put in my time, I find a lot more satisfaction than I do completing something. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of this conversation in terms of effort, like showing up to something every day really feels good rather than feeling like I've completed something.
Yeah, I think working towards the mere completion of something is like working towards some little object of attachment.
Yeah, it's like a little shallow, like it's not quite as engaging or enriching as just enjoying the process. So I guess the process of developing a concern for others is what we're talking about, right? Right.
maybe the effort, you're not projecting the result that you want. You're going through it to come out with the right result.
Right.
As a result of the
Yeah.
thing. Someone came in, getting it back.
We thought you were going to stay and watch the Knicks game, no?
Your watch party's canceled.
Oh, it is?
I had,
You watch it at the outdoor open hotel. They have it on the screen.
How can you measure something like that? The concern for others, like the building of that. How would you measure something like that?
I think it's a totally inner thing. I think that only you can measure it. Maybe a very, very wise man can measure it in others, but that's, we know ourselves well enough. And if we're strict about the way we watch over ourselves, we can see, and it's not, I think that we all recognize that we don't get better and better and better and better like this. We go up and down and up and down. We just sort of, we hopefully are going in that direction. But the more effort we put in towards this, the more it has a chance to improve in a positive direction.
The other day, I signed up to help at a kitchen, a soup kitchen, and I put this effort into doing it. And I was signed up for a certain time, and I wrote it down in my calendar wrong. And I didn't show up the right time. I felt horrible. And it reminds me a little bit that you could spend a lot of effort and not do the right thing. You know, like sometimes effort feels empty in the sense that like you're trying but it didn't land, or maybe you're even trying and it's not with the right intention, or you know, like I suppose gauging effort is also personal in terms of what it means or why you're doing it, or maybe
In the book that we were reading before, Beyond Religion, wasn't there there was discernment. You have to have discernment in what you do.
yeah.
And the more you develop, there's the good intention, whatever, but that discernment is what sort of tightens your self monitoring. Make sure you don't write the wrong date down. I think all these elements get tighter as we.
Yeah, with more effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the following framing of this sentence that do you think there's a difference between putting in effort to develop concern for others versus putting in effort to stop being selfish about yourself? The positive versus the negative? Do you think there's a difference?
I think we work on both. I mean, just in the fact that they're two different phrases, they're two different sort of efforts that we make. I think that we, in the same way that, we work at developing compassion as well as loving kindness, we can think of them as the same thing, whether it's developing the wish to help others or the wish to remove their suffering.
So there is a distinction, right, between like the absence of selfishness is not necessarily the presence of compassion, right?
Well, let's say you're walking along and you see a selfish tendency, or in your life you see a selfish tendency arise, and you recognize it as being selfish. I shouldn't do that. That's selfish. That's a different attitude from seeing someone in need and saying that we wish to help. They're just different tendencies that we're working at.
So yes, I mean they are. So what you're saying is that they are different.
Yeah. But I mean, I can understand how they're, they're part of the same, same package.
I think you can definitely say that the presence of selfishness precludes the presence of compassion. Is that true?
No,
Maybe not.
no, it's not true. Well,
Great compassion.
if you look at the
wisely selfish person.
scan the New York Times, when it, appears, and I know I emote a great deal, thinking of the suffering and the new sufferings of people around the world, but and I do believe I have a compassion for those people, and it's automatic. Yeah, but I'm selfish. I'm not. I don't think one equates with the other.
Is that does that,
In the same moment of mind, can you be both selfish and compassionate?
That's a good one.
well, in the same moment of mind, I think you can only have one conscious
Motivation. Whatever.
at a time.
That's a good
Yeah, but they can be composite, right?
one.
Can they? I mean, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, but maybe you
Can't be
can.
president.
So no, when the mind is focused on one thing, it is focused on that one thing. Now, of course, you can work to. This is, if we have developed compassion, if we've really developed, our whole self is infused with this wish to remove the suffering of others, to wish to provide others with happiness. If that is the feeling that we have, can we have I think that a moment of selfishness would be different from that. It wouldn't I don't think that they would be fused together. I think that they would contradict each other.
So we sometimes talk about the wisely selfish person.
So that's all right. So
You want to
the-
really help
No,
yourself.
you could.
So-
He says that all the time.
Yeah.
He says that all the time.
so it's that's not selfish in the negative sense. It's sort of self-serving or self-helping.
I understand.
If we engage in an action, let's say generosity. Generosity, I mean, the cause of eventually becoming wealthy is being generous. If you engage in generosity in order to become wealthy, that's wrong. That sort of counters.
It still results in
Yes.
becoming wealthy, right?
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
does not result in
No.
anything more than basic. Okay, sorry, go on.
Just it's important, though our teachers might try to inspire us to be generous, and by saying, that's the best way to become wealthy, to seek wealth for ourselves by being generous. That's sort of impure. Yeah. And it's, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that not exercise, but the breathing in the suffering of others to kind of put out the flame of your own selfishness. I feel like that it seems that being generous and having compassion for others puts out the flame of your selfishness, but recognizing your selfishness doesn't necessarily create compassion for others.
Well,
like it works better the other way.
It doesn't create compassion for others,
Right.
but recognizing your selfishness. And if you really recognize your selfishness as being a negative thing, that's the foundation upon
There's
which you
something
can.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It creates, so kind of what you were, one way to phrase what you were saying earlier is that it creates space. Like without that, there is no space to actually be compassionate. Right?
And when you study in the Lam Rim,
Yeah.
every quality that you're trying to generate, let's take generosity, you consider the benefits of generosity. You consider the faults of stinginess or the opposite of generosity. And in your analytical meditation, those are the thoughts that become the basis for a development of generosity. Hi. Okay. So, so if we can develop this quality
Are we
of
back
inner
to page
peace.
55?
Now we're at 56.
56?
The indication here. If we can develop this quality of inner peace, no matter what difficulties we meet with in life, our basic sense of well-being will not be undermined. This is the top of page 56. So I think this is really important, that as we work towards happiness, and it's really important in life today. I'll repeat it. If we can develop this quality of inner peace, no matter what difficulties we meet with in life, our basic sense of well-being will not be undermined. So here, this is sort of a deepening of an understanding of what happiness is. Happiness is a basic sense of well-being. It's not the attainment of what we wish for, or the thrill, the indulgence in a certain sort of a certain sense faculty. It's a basic sense of well-being. It also follows that though there is no denying the importance of external factors in bringing this about, we are mistaken if we suppose that they can never make us completely happy. So this is really important. The whole idea that we're shifting the responsibility of bringing about inner peace from things that are outside to ourselves inside. How does that?
I'm contemplating.
Udamaniya, right? The Wallace, Edonia, and Udamaniya.
Is it possible, say, the same question basically, is it possible to describe this sense of well-being in positive terms, in terms of what it is as opposed to what it isn't?
Go ahead.
Why, it's a question.
So bring it into the context of this specific.
So you said, okay, it's not getting something from the outside, it's not having some desire satisfied. Can we say something about what it is? So those are all things that
The
it is
base
not,
level
right?
of well-being, Udamaniya, that's what
It
Wallace uses
helps.
all the time.
Having your
Not to
desire satisfied helps.
For a while.
A sense of
I'll
well-being.
point you out to a lot of junkies
I
on the
don't
street
know.
always
A sense of well-being.
sense of well-being for a while. You want deep, anything through the senses is not going to give you full well-being. That's it.
You're right.
That's
You're right.
hedonism.
No, that's
So,
that's
that's a big
correct,
thing.
Tony.
we all know this. We all made our mistakes.
No, you're
And we
correct. You're
continue. Never
correct.
mind. What do you think?
It seems like the kind of peace that he's talking about. Well, the only sort of non-causal happiness and peace can come from like meditation and stuff like that. I think because he's saying that it's uncaused, right?
So Buddha nature.
Well, no, well,
We have.
yeah, but he's saying no denying the importance of external factors bringing about. But even all of these things, you have to do
We are
something.
mistaken for
You have to do something to
Right.
attain happiness, and this sort of internal happiness, what I've seen can only come about through like meditation, right? Because we're not talking about the pursuit of any sort of phenomenal pleasure. Pleasurable phenomenon.
Meditation, or when we are helpful to others, when we are kind to others, when we have virtuous thoughts,
Right,
those
in
virtuous
addition to
thoughts.
meditation.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not necessarily meditating. It's, when we help someone, that there's a joy in that's different from.
I mean, that's still an external thing, though, right? That you have to. That then it can become something that you chase after.
I think that developing, let's say, generosity, or developing patience in situations, and developing certain qualities that are not necessarily meditative. That's your little cheat sheet.
No. You were talking about the perfections, right?
Yeah.
And they mentioned the 6 perfections, so I was wondering, and what's his name is one of them, generosity is one of them.
The first.
One of them is meditation, and then the other one. So are these are the things that we should try and attain, for lack of a better word?
So I'm going to say, I don't think we put it as we should try. It's that as a result of trying, we develop.
Why did
happiness.
you change that?
Because should suggest some kind of a rule that there's some.
Well,
This
It's your choice. It's your choice to do it, I guess, is the difference.
I feel like it's semantic.
No. I think it's. I think that if we engage in virtue not out of a should, but out of a recognition that it brings us happiness, and it brings happiness to those around us,
Right.
that becomes
I suppose
a
the
positive.
difference. You're right. I suppose the difference would be if somebody told me, "Go be generous," and then I did it. I was doing it because I was told to do it. But if I came to the conclusion that I need to be generous on my own, it's a deeper movement. Right.
Is that?
I guess. I mean, you're ending up at the same place.
I'm not sure that you are. I don't know.
I think you want to say, instead of need to be generous, want to be generous. If you feel the want to be generous,
Right.
that will give a sense of inner peace. And need to be generous might create a little bit of anxiety, like, how much of my bank account am I going to empty here or something. But those are just, that's just vocabulary, really. But
That was my argument.
I've found I'm working on it. Like sometimes I'll how much of a tipper do I need to tip this guy when I go in to buy a donut, and I've got dollar bills and the donut is $2. And do I give him a 50% tip with this dollar bill? And I would go through that in my mind sometimes, and then the tipping didn't feel very good. And I'm trying to turn it around to wanting to, like, I can go and give this dollar.
Right.
And do this, and it makes it feels good then. It's just, but it's a, watch that inner dialogue.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, but it also depends on how much money you have. Whether you can afford the extra 5% or whatever.
Yeah.
That's also
50%. 50%.
Right. It's like societal rules rather than what you actually feel. Like the comparison, I suppose. It's interesting.
Oh, we need some of these. I guess I've been thinking about it, is how subjective or objective are any of these things, right? You're saying what society needs, but we need to have some sort of societal thing that defines what is generosity, what is kindness, right? We need to we're talking about secular ethics, right?
Yeah, but we're not talking about the rules of society. we're talking about the methods by which we develop happiness in our lives. It's an inner thing. It's an individual thing we're talking about.
But we're not separate from that. We're not separate from society, like you said, right? The tip, how much should I tip, and
No, but
the
hers
expectations, and
hers is an inner struggle. She's there trying to decide, how do I feel about, how.
Some of these kind of people really.
but the societal expectation is part of that.
Sure. Yeah, the struggle
That's
between
the
the
part to
struggle.
let go of, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's the part
to let go of. I think the point is that what she's saying is, I feel angsty about it. If you take that layer away and you tap into the core of what you're feeling,
Right.
then that is sort of the
Like
root of
if you
it
could
for
do
you.
anything, what would
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah.
You could do anything. It
Societal
wasn't
pressures
societally
should not
wrong or
mean
whatever.
anything in this case. I think it should be you and the situation. What is it that I'm feeling I need to do? That's where you want to arrive at. We all feel societal pressure for a lot of things, but in these cases, when it's about compassion or giving, generosity, that's when you got to let that I should part go, I think is what we're saying, right?
I think that's what everyone is saying.
Yeah. And that you achieve a better arrival at a better place if that's how you're going about it versus I should do. But there would be some value in I should do, right?
We can come to the conclusion that therefore I should do this. If I do it that way, I'm going to suffer. If I do it that way, I'm going to be happy. Therefore,
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
well, there we can say I should.
Yeah, because there's things that you can do that can bring about this
Right.
state, and there are things that other things that will not bring about that state.
But it's a should
Should,
that's an
not better or else.
individual thing. Yeah,
You
it's
should really.
Maybe that's a good starting spot. And then you arrive at the other part later.
Nothing to do with society. It's just cause and effect.
and
Internal.
and you individually have come to reach that conclusion, and therefore, of course, I should do it. It's not that I'm able to, but I should. It's the logical, yeah.
And if you can, I wish I could.
Yeah.
That must have some weight mentally.
Yeah.
It is not hard to experience this. I mean, every time if you just give somebody $1 on the street, like you immediately feel it. It's not some complicated thing.
I find that a
One day
feeling
night,
like
you took care of that guy laying on the street. That was very nice. I didn't even see him, and you did. And laid it on. He was so happy. So walking to Tenzin's car. It was very nice. Stuff with him.
I was just going to say, like, growing up, I went to Catholic school for my high school years, and there was a lot of guilt about things.
Oh, yes.
Because there are a lot of rules all the time. And I feel like I'm still kind of wading my way through those waters of often feeling guilty about things, but not honestly having an understanding of why the guilt is even there. Like it's like almost a trauma thing. But then maybe thinking about cause and effect, it's kind of a good foil for it in a way, because you see the comparison back to back and you see how cause and effect is actually what's going on, rather than like you're going to go to hell if you do this and you'll go to heaven if you do that kind of thing.
But as you're saying, the dynamic, there, it's just a different way of viewing it.
Exactly, yeah. Like I feel like probably a lot of those things probably would equate to one another. Like, don't be mean to somebody. Okay, you could call that a rule. And also, when I come to the conclusion that shouldn't be mean to that person, it's also good, you know? So I feel like the societal or the secular ethics that we kind of hope for in the world are closely linked to our actual natural feelings and intentions that lead us to want to be better anyway. But it's like, it is kind of a fine line between like, don't do that, or I feel like I shouldn't do this because it's not right.
So we have in Buddhism, the 10 non-virtuous actions, and it's not, killing is a non-virtuous action. It's not that you are being told thou shalt not kill. It's that you are working to recognize the negative aspects of the way you suffer the consequence. The person you kill suffers. The whole of your community will suffer the consequences.
Right.
But it's not a rule. It's as was said, it's a recognition of the logic of it.
Right. It's like a recognition of the cause and effect of those things. Right. It's interesting.
In Buddhism, we say karma will cause, and in many other religions, I think they say God will punish, but I'm not sure the distinction is actually that meaningful.
Well, I think it's meaningful in what motivates you.
Yeah, it appeals to different people.
Yeah.
But it's arguably just a different way of saying the same thing.
I don't know. It feels like God will punish is like someone's gonna hit you, strike you down.
Who's the someone, though?
Well, I don't know. Don't ask me.
God.
But yeah. But I feel like the karmic conversation is like I'm learning about cause and effect, and I know that if I do that, something bad will happen.
Right. But what I'm saying is maybe that appeals to you, right? But the other way of viewing it might appeal to other people.
No, 'cause
And the
karma
laws
means
of karma might just be God.
Also.
What?
Okay.
But karma means you're in control.
Non-creating
What did we just
God.
say?
Yeah, I think
Why
so.
should that
There's
karma
nothing in
creates?
this book like
That's
that.
the creator. That's right.
Karma means it's your
Karma
own doing.
creates in the way you act.
Exactly.
Your own doing.
Yeah.
You
That
will
guy
not
with the
find
beard.
that in this book.
No, but I
woman
think
with
that
a
you
beard,
can
no.
explore the idea of the word or name God being given to the potential, the possibility of cause and effect.
You're going to personify something. Yes, you do
If you
that. You
want
have
to.
to personify God.
You can if you want.
Well,
Not
no.
necessarily.
No,
You don't.
we don't
You're
do that,
already.
though.
You're already attributing a quality of personification to this word that you don't have to.
Well, yes, but then that God would not be the creator.
No, it's not the
It would be
creator.
some other God.
We're just using this. If you have to understand what this concept is,
Monotheism.
not necessarily. Cause and effect.
Okay.
Dependent arising.
Well, what?
So,
That's where we get water from.
It's kind of far-fetched, isn't it? I mean, I'll let it go, but
Yes,
isn't
please.
that kind of far-fetched?
think about it. Mull.
Mo, okay,
Oh.
monotheism.
No. Leave monotheism aside. Just a word, a sound, God, as being dependent arising.
Is there anything in here about God?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, on that note, so may we pray for Dwayne Michaels, who passed away either last night or today,
Dwayne Michaels.
a photographer.
Sonny Rollins.
Sonny Rollins.
Again. Lift it in.
So we shall
Amazing.
recite the Sutra of the Recollection of the Noble Three
Jane sent in the
Jewels.
name, right, Darren?
No names, yeah.
Jane sent one in.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The Lord of Death. Jane.
Yeah, sorry.
I might have it here. I saw the text.
Shiva Bound.
Shiva Baum, B-A-U-M,
So
male.
I prostrate to the Omniscient One. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arhat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous One, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable One, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He's not stained by the realm of desire. He's not stained by the realm of form. He's not affected by the formless realm. He's completely liberated from suffering. He's completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He's not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He's completely cut the knots. He's completely liberated from extreme torment. He's liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings, all these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of Buddha Bhagavat. The Holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is freed from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavat is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the Great Yana, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, and they enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joined palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure the cause of freedom and compassion, virtuous liberated from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, and therefore virtues are inconceivable. May they be born in completely pure realm. So we will read the 8 verses on training the mind. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings, who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I'd found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others treat me badly, abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When one whom I benefit with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering upon others. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as like illusions, to be released from the bondage of attachment. Now a prayer for the swift return. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of one wearing saffron robes, Guru Lobsam Tugom Doje Chanda, please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers, Lord of speed to the victor Lobsang's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you withdraw the activity of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for utility existence end, to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Pajitottam by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings, and wish-fulfilling jewel. Return to the glory of Losang Tempe. Magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karma Yama, and Srimati Devi, and the ocean of Brahma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. So this Saturday we will have Tara meditation here in New Jersey at 1 o'clock. There is a World Cup soccer match in New Jersey that evening, which should not affect coming here on the train that leaves Penn Station at 12:11?
It's on the 11s, yeah.
12:11. It leaves Penn Station at 12:11. You get here a little before 1, Mountain Station.
Then go home quickly because the game starts at 6, but people are supposed to be there by 4.
Yes, but they go in the opposite
They go in the
direction.
opposite direction. Yeah.
Good night.
Madrid and it's Brazil and Morocco. Who are you rooting for? Portugal or Morocco? Thank you.